Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. So today we're going to be doing a third-party situation reading. This is a type of reading that I haven't done for quite a long time, but I have made readings on this topic in the past. And it's been requested a few times now, so I thought I would do another video on this topic. So this is going to be the future energy or the outcome of this third-party situation. So this could be a situation where there is maybe a relationship and an affair going on, or there's a relationship and a crush that's sort of threatening the integrity of the relationship. There could be a person with two crushes, or a person that's sort of dating two people and isn't really sure which one they want to go ahead with and sort of take the leap with commitment wise. I am not presuming which person you are in this third party or what the nature of the setup is. Like I've said, it could be a variety of different situations. I'm just going to be looking at the outcome of the situation, and we'll be getting messages for you about the situation now and the future as well in this reading. So before we go any further into picking the piles or anything, I really need to give a disclaimer before we start. I know that this will be a very emotional subject, very sensitive subject for a lot of you who are watching today, and it is a professional rule of mine, both on YouTube and in private readings, that you must never ask a question of tarot if you are not ready to hear the answer, because I don't want anyone to be distressed, upset, or panicked or anything from watching a general reading of mine or having a private reading with me. It's very, very important to know that you might be curious to know the answer, but if you're not emotionally and mentally ready to hear the truthful answer, it can be very distressing for you, or it can leave you feeling very down about the situation. I am not a reader who will ever lie to you. I will never make anything up that isn't there in the reading to give you false hope, but equally I will never ignore something that's there in the reading to downplay it or anything. I will tell you the truth as gently as possible, but I won't sugarcoat the reading. So if you feel, having said that, oh, I'm actually not sure I do want to hear the answer to this question, I'm not really sure I'm ready emotionally to know how this is going to work out yet, then that's completely fine. Please click off the video now and go and do something that is emotionally affirming for you, or calming or relaxing. If you're continuing to watch now, and you can pause the video if you want to sort of sit with the feelings and make up your mind, then you're confirming that you're ready to hear the answer, you're 100% in, and you're emotionally resilient enough to hear it. So with that being said, as you can see, I've chosen these really beautiful Kali Oracle cards to go on the piles. It's a new deck that I got for my birthday a few days ago from my boyfriend. This is also a new deck that I got from him, and I have two more as well that we'll be using in the reading. So I'm very spoiled and I'm very, very happy to have them. I am not a Hindi speaker. It's not a language that I'm learning. So if there are any Hindi speaking viewers watching, I'm really sorry if I do mess up the pronunciation or make it sound awful. I'm really sorry, and I'm not trying to be sacrilegious or blasphemous or anything, because that's something that I really do care about. So I do apologize in advance for that. But I thought it would be really nice to have a message from Kali Ma, given that this is probably a very emotionally intense situation for a lot of you. So I'm still getting used to the deck because I haven't had it for very long, but we'll see what messages come through. So before we choose the piles, I want to say a big thank you to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including Alexandra, Kelly, Nicole, Joan, Mia, and Cara. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for your support and the love that you show to me and to the channel. I would love it if you could subscribe if you haven't already, you guys. Let's take a look at the piles. I haven't chosen these cards myself. I've just shuffled and asked Kali Ma to give us a pile marker for each pile. And these are the ones that came out. So just think about your situation and ask yourself, what's the outcome going to be, or what's the future of this situation? And we'll take a look at the piles more closely. So for pile 1, we have the Tarot in Wonderland, and we have number 11, Durga Kalika. For pile 2, we have the new Circle of Life Tarot, and we have number 12, Kali Yantra. And for pile 3, we've got the Inner Child cards, and number 43, Gauri Devi. So just choose with your intuition. Don't choose your favourite card or your favourite deck. Just choose where you're feeling drawn intuitively. Maybe there's a number that's really jumping out at you, or you just can't take your eyes off a certain deck or card. That's where you're being called in intuitively. That will give you the most accurate reading, and at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. So you can pause the video if you need more time, or if you still want to think about whether you're ready to move forward and receive the truthful answer. And when you are ready, I'll get started with pile number 1. Hey there, Group 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose the Tarot in Wonderland and also number 11, Durga, Kalika, this is going to be your reading. I think we'll leave the Kali message to the end because it's likely to be very powerful, given that it is an Alana Fairchild deck and it's a message from Kali Ma herself. So we'll start off with your tarot. And I would love it if you could subscribe, Group 1, if you haven't already. That means that you get notified whenever I release a new video so that you never miss out, and it also really helps out my channel as well. So let's see what's going on. Okay, Group 1, so it took a while for your cards to come out, which usually means that it's quite hard to get an answer. So we've got the Emperor showing up as your first card. Then we have got the Two of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Okay, so we've got Aries energy showing up here with the Emperor. It's an interesting vibe. I do feel as though there is a masculine energy who holds most of the decision-making power in this situation. And when I say masculine energy, that either means a man or it means a woman with very dominant masculine energy, because we all have masculine and feminine within us, and it's very, very rare that they would be completely 50-50 split. It's pretty much everyone has a dominant one, and it can be masculine or feminine, and that doesn't necessarily equate to biological sex. So there is a masculine energy who holds most of the decision-making power in this situation, and I can see that they're very reluctant to make up their mind with the Two of Swords, either because they don't want to cause hurt by making a decision, you know, and hurting the third person, you know, choosing a second person, hurting the third person, or because they feel like both options have sort of equal pros and cons, or even because they kind of just enjoy having their cake and eating it. It feels like they're the one in the middle of this situation and they need to make the decision. So ultimately, as time progresses, I do feel as though this situation gets, I just want to say, more toxic. The Two of Swords and the Five of Swords, it's like this person, this Emperor figure, is just so reluctant to make a choice that it becomes more painful, it becomes heavier, there could be arguments, there could be like real impacts upon someone's mental health in this situation, because it's like leaving them hanging for so long. And the Three of Wands tells me that there is going to be great growth as a result of this situation. As a result of this situation, once it's resolved, there's going to be great growth, but it's not going to be without a lot of pain. So I'm really curious to see what the oracle cards are going to say, because this is quite a clear message coming through for me, and I want to see what details they're going to give us. Start with this deck. Okay, so here we have got number 83, Lehrer Gottes, Teacher of God. We also have number 18, Konkurrenz, competition, which is obviously so fitting for a third-party situation. We've got number 27, Oedipus, Oedipus. Number 77, Himmel auf Erden, Heaven on Earth. Number 31, Fantasievorstellungen, fantasies. And finally, number 11, Gier, greed. Now, it's interesting that you've got number 11 there, because you also picked Durga Kalika, which is number 11. So a really interesting start to your reading here with the oracle cards. So Lehrer Gottes, teacher of God, means that there is some kind of really deep spiritual lesson or life lesson or karmic lesson coming as a result of this situation. So it's likely that at least 2 of the 3 people have known each other in past lives, caught up in this situation, because it feels heavily karmic to me. It feels as though there is like a need to come together in order to tie up old karma or to learn from this situation. The competition makes a lot of sense. As I said, it's a third party situation, and it really does feel as though this person, this emperor figure, is not going to make a decision unless they literally completely have to, unless someone issues them with an ultimatum or someone, you know, tries to force their hand. Basically, they're not going to make a choice because they don't want to. You know, it's like either I'm happy having both options, or 2 people competing for me, you know, why wouldn't I? That makes my ego feel huge. Or it's either just I don't want to hurt other people by making a choice. Okay, so Himmel auf Erden, heaven on earth, tells me that sometimes this connection feels incredible. It feels like, oh my God, it's amazing. We have such a great connection, or we work so well together, or we understand each other so well. And then other times it's just awful. And with fantasies, you know, I feel like that goes back to this person potentially wanting to have both options at the same time, like wanting to have their cake and eat it, or possibly saying that this heaven on earth situation is a little bit of a fantasy. Like your fantasy fills in the blanks where it's a dark time to make excuses for this person, or to justify your feelings, or just to make the situation seem better than it is, to protect you emotionally. With Oedipus, this tells me that someone has quite a deep sort of psyche issue there relating to the mother, or views about women generally. So when we get Oedipus in a reading, it either means that this person had a neglectful mother, or an overly protective, overbearing mother, or an absent mother. There are issues with the mother attachment, and this would be a masculine energy who has these issues with their mother. And or that means that they have been led as an adult to have confusing views about women or about the feminine. They could be looking for a mother figure, but then also be looking for something very, very different, this sort of Madonna whore complex. They can't see a woman as multifaceted. She has to be one or the other. It could be that at one point they're looking for a mother figure, and then they feel smothered, and so they look for something that's much more free and easy. And this can be confusing to the partner, because it's like, well, what do you want from me? What do you want me to be? You know, make up your mind. And greed there is also saying, I want to have both options to me. I don't want to make a choice. So here we have got number 3, geben, gifts or giving. Number 72, Manipulation, manipulation. Number 60, Erwartungen, expectations. Number 40, Gnade, blessing or mercy. And number 17, Zärtlichkeit, tenderness. So again, a few things going on. I feel like this fits with the heaven on earth card, and it has actually in the order being placed just underneath it. It's like, I feel so close to you. I feel like we can share a lot together. You know, we have this wonderful connection. The giving message there, maybe this person gives you gifts or really lets you into their emotional life sometimes. That gift giving love language isn't always about buying gifts and giving them, or physically giving someone a present. It can be things like sharing a memory or a song or a special place with you, and making you feel like you're a really deep part of their life in that way. So Gnade, blessing or mercy, it's like, again, wanting to be chosen. It's wanting to have that favor put upon you. So I do feel, group 1, as though you're not the person making the decision or calling the shots in this situation. It's definitely someone else's decision-making ability. Manipulation obviously isn't nice, and put together with expectations. It goes back to that Oedipus card for me about having sort of confusing expectations or seemingly conflicting needs from the feminine, which are impossible to fulfill because it's impossible for one person to only be this and then only be that, you know? That's by definition impossible. So we've got number 42 here from the new Alice in Wonderland deck. Mortality, life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. Really lovely message. And we also have number 18, no need to fear. Remember how powerful you are. And now this does feel quite important to me because mortality, I mean, you've chosen the card that has the skull on it, which is literally a reminder of our own mortality. It's memento mori, isn't it? It's reminding us of this life that we have to live. And it can remind us of the time that we have left and the decisions we've made up until now. So with this, you know, life is incredible and beautiful and bright, and it's yours to live, it's yours to grasp and take what you want from it. It's kind of like your spiritual team asking yourself, is this situation worth remaining in? Is it worth giving your power away this much? Because with this card, no need to fear, remember how powerful you are. It is like you've given all your power to this other person, this emperor person. You're sitting around waiting for a decision to be made, probably, given the cards that we've seen, having damage incurred to your mental health or self-esteem in the process, because why would they not choose you straight away? If they thought you were incredible and the right person for them, of course they'd choose you straight away. And so that causes you to second guess yourself. Number 42 again, because you got that there. Number 42, netcaster, preparations come to fruition. So it is about, you know, sort of tying up loose ends, as I said before, with regards to karma. What I really just feel from these cards is that this person's not going to make a decision until an ultimatum is issued or until their hand is forced, basically. So if this is an affair situation, it would be literally, if you don't decide what you're going to do within a week, I'm telling your partner, or it's something like that, or it's, I'm going to walk away within 48 hours if you don't come back and tell me what you're going to do and show me clearly that you've made that choice and won't take it back. Obviously that's harder for crush situations, but that's like where I'm feeling this is going. Like, in the future, you're going to have to issue this ultimatum, otherwise they're just not going to do anything about it. I also keep dropping the cards in your reading group 1 or having a hard time getting them out of the pack, so I do feel like you're sort of clamming up, sweaty, fearful, anxious a lot about this situation. Like, I'm literally feeling my throat tighten while I'm doing this reading. My fingers sort of feel all jumbly, like I just feel like you're restless a lot of the time, and like you can't concentrate on anything because this situation is taking over your entire mental and emotional space. Your healing message is assimilate life experience, number 2, so that is learning from experiences in the past and also in the present, and ensuring that you're not going to repeat negative choices again in the future. And I think that's interesting because that seems to be the reason behind this whole situation in the first place, is that it's to do with past life experiences and a need to learn life lessons. Death and the Maiden, number 28. Invasion, boundaries violated, dominance. So this message about death and mortality again. It just feels to me like, you know, with the word dominance there again, it's like your power has been taken away. Dana, High Priestess. You have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching, and that is extremely interesting given that we got the Teacher of God card. Passing on higher wisdom. So I think in time you'll be able to really help other people that are getting themselves into similar situations, or who are maybe giving their power away in different situations but which have the sort of same dynamic or the same feel to it. You'll be able to look back and say, look, this is what I wish I'd done in that situation early on, or this is what I would advise you to do given that I've been through something similar. Archangel Michael says your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. Please help me clearly hear, see, feel, and know the divine guidance that I have asked and prayed for. Allow me to keep my ego out of the way so that your wisdom can come streaming through me for my own benefit and for those around me. So it's possible that you've already felt a lot of these things in your subconscious or sort of deep in your gut. Maybe you haven't wanted to acknowledge them or recognize them for obvious reasons. It can be scary to realize something, especially if it's not something that we really want to accept. But with this whole mortality message that's creeping through the reading, and with this thing about dominance and fear and having your power taken away, it does feel like you felt that on quite a deep level. And obviously with it being a karmic situation, a past life situation, it's sort of programmed into your psyche already, because before you came into this life you knew you would have some sort of situation like this in order to learn whatever the lesson is that you need to learn. And that will be different for everyone who's watching today. So your advice card today is Full Moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture. So that's 2 fire signs that we've gotten now. We have Aries and Sagittarius. So see the bigger picture is obviously don't get bogged down with details. The small things, the he said, she said sort of thing, don't get worked up by that. Look at the overall picture. And I think that you are sort of doing that already, given that we've got these messages about death and mortality, and sort of looking at your life as a whole and being like, okay, what's the reason for this? Or do I want to really have this dominating such a big period of my life for so long? So I think part of you is already following that advice, or already sort of awakening to that advice. But let's look at Kali's message for you before we move on to your charms and dice. Group 1, I'm going to read the little introduction to the guidebook here. So number 11, Durga Kalika, says, she is fierce divine justice and unyielding resolution in favor of the light. She is every method and all means necessary to ensure success for the soul. She is the unexpected victory, arising at the very moment when all seems lost, transforming tragedy into triumph. She is our spiritual sun, our light, and our ever-radiant reminder that from darkest night a new dawn shall always arise. Dare to trust more in your faith than your fear. For every problem that can arise, there are many more divine solutions unfolding even now. So Kali wants you to know that there is going to be a solution to this that works out for your highest good. You may not be able to even imagine that right now, but that is what's going to happen. Kali Ma quite present in your life at this time, even if you've never worked with her before, don't know who she is, have never felt her presence around you, etc. She is there, and she is working with you, and she wishes to assure you that this situation is going to work out for your highest good. And that's very useful, given that we know that this situation now is connected to life lessons and past life situations and energies that have been brought forward from previous existences. So it's lovely to know that this is going to work out in a way that aids your purpose and aids your transformation and furthering. So we'll move on to your charms and see what messages they can give us. Okay, yeah, lots of things. So we've got the wasp coming out first. That is about pain, feeling hurt, feeling stung by a situation. So you might end this situation feeling very stung by it, feeling like a little bit sore for quite a while afterwards. We've got teamwork here, landing on the giving card, which to me just harks back to how this situation feels great when it's going well. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be sticking around. And it feels like you get along very well with the second person. It feels like you really, get them, etc., and they seem to get you. But then there's this other issue of the third person, or the lack of commitment, or the lack of decisiveness that's really affecting you. So we have the good luck charm here, the upturned horseshoe, so that's nice, and that fits with Kali's message of everything working out in accordance with your highest good. We have the key, new beginnings, an unblocking of a situation that has become stagnant or blocked, which is how I feel this just keeps getting. It gets more stagnant, it feels more tense, more blocked. As time goes by, the frustration builds, and that's why it reaches a crescendo where there is an ultimatum issued or a hand being forced. We've got the octopus, which represents like lots of things to do, lots of stuff going on, lots of thoughts going around your mind, lots of feelings, etc. We have lots and lots of worry threads all tied up together. So worry and anxiety is really, as I said before, sort of overtaking you. I can feel my heart is actually pounding in my chest while I'm doing this reading now. It's sort of built up. The more I've done this reading, I felt hot, I felt uncomfortable, my throats felt tight. It's like a really quite a strong psychic reaction, and my heart is just pounding, like I feel adrenaline. While I'm doing this, I can't quite sit still because the adrenaline's making me feel quite restless. And if this is how you're feeling all of the time, then truly that must be awful, because I can't imagine how you could properly get things done or concentrate or relax or sleep if this is how you're feeling all the time. Group 1. So we've got the fortress there, shutting people out, forcing people to give you space by blocking them or not letting them in when they want to speak to you or not answering the phone. We've got another key, very positive. We've got Pegasus, healing, inspiration, divine rescue, which is interesting because of what Kali said. And then we've got the moon, Pisces energy, dreams, intuition, but also anxieties and deep feelings and sort of doubts and fears. So all of this makes sense given what we've heard already. I love that you've got the 2 keys, because 1 key is very positive, so 2 is honestly incredible. We'll see what your dice have to say. So we're going to roll the second set of dice for you, the original dice. These are the ones. And we're going to roll 6 of them for you today. Okay, so we've got the lock, which is nice given that we've got 2 keys already. So yeah, that's really nice, because sometimes we just get the lock and there's no key, and that kind of suggests that a situation's going to remain a little bit difficult to solve, or it's maybe one that you need to walk away from entirely. But this one suggests that you are going to have a solution that works out in your highest good, that there is going to be a new door for you to open. I also think there's a little bit sort of tongue-in-cheek here from your spiritual team saying, look, there's only 1 lock and there's 2 keys trying to get into it. Like, this person is not accepting either offer, they're just enjoying having 2 keys, sort of battling it out to try and fit into the lock, to try and fit their ideal person. I do feel with the competition card that there's possibly been like some pick-me dancing going on, trying to be the best person or the best option, proving that you can be this and that and everything else. And I do feel as though this Emperor person quite enjoys all of that attention. We have got the bridge, healing, mending, the theatrical masks. So like I said, sort of mood swings and really intense emotions, and also trying to be different people, like opposites at the same time. Really fits with this Oedipus message about expectations. We have searching for something, looking for something new, tiredness, sleepiness. Like I said, I feel like it must be very, very difficult for you to sleep and actually relax and rest because of how up in the air this situation always feels, and how much adrenaline there seems to be coursing through you, because if I'm just feeling a little bit of that, then yeah, it's very uncomfortable. And you also have the teepee, which represents movable or temporary situations. So this isn't going to last forever. It's not going to be a situation that drags on until you die. Group one, I really do feel as though there is going to be a resolution, but it's one that's going to be forced. So this person's going to have to make their mind up because they've run out of time and there's no choice left, because someone's threatening to walk away or someone's threatening to tell the other person that they're in a third party situation. I'm not advocating blackmail or anything like that, and you might not even be the person that's in the position to do that. But given what I'm seeing here, the person with the decision-making power is going to be pushed to make their choice, and then ultimately, you know, everyone's going to walk away. I do feel as though this isn't the person for you. Group one, I strongly feel as though this situation is saying there's something to be learned from this with regards to maybe relationship expectations, maybe to do with confidence, maybe to do with your self-esteem, or knowing when to walk away from a situation. But ultimately, I do feel that you're going to move on and have a much more expansive experience in the future. There's a lot of room for growth here with the Three of Wands. I felt that that was so positive anyway, just getting that at the beginning of your reading. After all of this toxicity or frustration or nastiness, it's a really nice card to have, of just setting sail and taking what life has to offer and having lots of opportunity ahead of you. So that is what I'm seeing from your reading, Group 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do let me know in the comments what you thought. You don't have to go into any detail about your situation, obviously, but I would love to hear from you. Please do like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video. That helps me to get these messages to as many people as possible, and it really does help out my channel as well. I want to ask you to take care of yourself in this situation. As I said in the introduction, it's likely a very emotional subject for you, and you know, getting a reading can be very heavy and information overload anyway, but when it's on a very sensitive topic, it can be quite overwhelming. So do take your time to process these messages and go and do something that is gentle and relaxing for you now, Group 1. If you'd like to get more involved with what I do on the channel, check out my description box or my comment that I post in the comments section. It's full of links over there, so you can follow me on Instagram for daily oracle cards. You can follow me on Patreon. Consider becoming a patron over there. You get access to exclusive content, including more picker cards and giveaways and healing sessions and things that I do. If you'd like a private reading or a healing session with me, or if you'd like to get information about your guardian angel, head over to my Etsy page where all of those services are available. If you'd like to get 10% off beautiful crystal jewelry, head over to Modern Day Manifestations. The link is below. Use that link to activate the discount code, which you should apply at checkout. The discount code is Violet. You'll get 10% off your first order, and they have free international shipping. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, thank you so much. That is really, really kind of you. I have got a PayPal link for tips and donations, which support me in the work that I do. And I also have tarot and oracle wish lists over on Amazon and mywishlist.com. All of this is linked below, so you can easily find it. And thank you to everyone who gets involved or who gives back in any way. Have a lovely rest of your day. Do take care of yourselves, Group 1, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hi there, Group 2. Welcome to your reading if you chose number 12, Kali Yantra, and the new Circle of Life Tarot. This is going to be your reading. So we're going to leave the Kali message until we've gotten all of the cards out, because I want to have that to be the final card, because I think it's going to be very impactful. This is my new Circle of Life Tarot. We've also got the new Kali Oracle and the new Alice the Wonderland Oracle. Let's see what the outcome of this situation is going to be. I would love it if you could subscribe as well, Group 2, so that you get notified whenever I release a new video and never miss out. It also really helps my channel as well. Couple of cards just dropped on the floor there, so we'll read those last because these two came out first. Oh, three. We've got quite a lot of cards. So, okay, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, Then we have got Death, the Six of Cups, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Eight of Cups. Okay, so a very interesting set of cards. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Scorpio showing up, but Virgo's coming out twice because we've got the Knight of Pentacles and also the Hermit card. So, interesting message. I do feel as though this is a past life situation, given that we've got Death and we've also got the Six of Cups. As far as the future goes, I feel as though this situation may get a little bit stagnant. I kind of feel like it's likely someone's going to walk away, ultimately. And it feels quite slow moving as well with the Pentacles card and the Hermit there and Death. It sort of feels like it stops and starts a lot, or like it moves very, very slowly, and it feels like it's all very samey for a long period of time, and you're just waiting for that change. You're waiting for some massive situation to happen that just changes it and pushes it forward. So I'm very curious to see what your oracle cards are going to say. Group 2. Group 3's reading was incredibly impactful. It was very hard hitting. So I'm curious if yours is going to be different or very similar. Let's start out with these cards. Okay, so we've got number 93, Spirituelle Odyssee, Spiritual Odyssey. We have got number 70, Geburt, Birth. Number 37, Schurke, Villain. And number 95, Versöhnung. Reconciliation is what I would say with that, sort of reconciling differences. Sorry, sometimes I know exactly what a word means, but I just struggle to find the English equivalent. So yeah, this is definitely a very, as I said, like karmic past life thing going on here. There's some lessons to learn from this, and in that sense it is similar to group 1's reading, but I do feel like it's different in terms of energies, definitely. This one seems less toxic or less heavy. I get the vibe that someone's going to walk away because they realize that they're being treated badly, or they're being treated unfairly, and their self-esteem won't allow it anymore. That could be you, or it could be someone else. Could even be that someone walks away because they feel like a villain. They feel as though their morality is being questioned or called into question by their actions in this situation, and they don't want that to continue, so that's why they're walking away. But ultimately there's a reconciling of differences, or there is a peaceful resolution, I feel. So lots and lots of cards from this deck. Let's just gather them up. So we've got number 51, Verrat, Betrayal. Number 18, Spiel or Game. Can also mean play. Number 73, Zweifel, Doubts. Number 69, Desillusionierung, Disillusionment. Number 46, Unabhängigkeit, Independence. And number 68, Täuschung, Deception. Okay, so very, very interesting. With betrayal and deception and doubts, I do feel as though someone realizes that they're being cheated on. Now, either this is a situation where someone is simultaneously dating two people, or someone is in a relationship and having an affair, or has a crush on the side. Whoever's like confidence is being betrayed in this situation realizes what's happening, and I feel like it's them that walks away. There is like a stubborn independence going on here. This is the independence where you don't want anyone to help you. It's not the helpful independence that means that you can always stand on your feet. It's like independence as in get away from me, don't do anything for me, etc. I can get through this on my own. I feel like someone ends up feeling as though they've been played, or as though their entire relationship was a game or a joke. So that goes back to the villain card, where it's like someone really realizes they've been treated horrendously, or when someone realizes they've been complicit in this kind of situation and feels terrible and can't continue with it anymore. So just take that however it makes sense in your particular situation, because as I said, there are different setups of third-party situations, and I want this reading to encompass all of them. So from the new Alice in Wonderland Oracle, we've got number 5, becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective. So you're going to grow from this experience. Whether or not you're the person who walks away, because I feel like they're going to grow from it as well, you are going to grow from this experience. I would just caution you against extreme independence. Obviously, independence is a good thing. We should never be dependent upon another person to meet our needs or for financial survival or anything like that. Emotional survival. We need to be able to rely on ourselves, but we shouldn't get to a point where we're sort of like, I don't need anyone else. You know, I'm comfortable being this island and I'm pushing the boat away so no one else can reach me. You know, I don't need to confide in anyone. I don't need anyone's support or help or advice. I can do this by myself. It's sort of like a spectrum, basically, where we have dependence, independence, and then like stubborn independence or unhelpful independence. Like the golden mean in Aristotle's philosophy. It's not about opposites where we have a lack of something or we have it, like cowardice and bravery. It's a three-way spectrum with the golden mean being in the middle, bravery, the lack being on one side, cowardice, and then the excess being on the other side, recklessness. So we've got Death on the Maiden, number 28, invasion, boundaries violated, dominance. Now group 1 got this card, so we could take this in multiple ways. Obviously, invasion and boundaries violated, that could mean someone discovering that they've been cheated on. That can potentially put their physical health at risk if someone's been intimate with another person and has been intimate with them without telling them. You know, that can be very invasive and violating. It can just be that they feel as though their trust has been violated, for example, or their confidence in relationships has been violated. So we could take it as that message, but also dominance, I think, is important, where you feel dictated to by another person's needs, or where you feel as though someone else holds all of the power and you don't. Overflow, number 43, overwhelm and plenty. Now that's very interesting because, as I said, the Unabhängigkeit, the independence that's unhelpful, is like the excess. And here you've got it, overflow, you know, having too much of something. I think overwhelm makes an awful lot of sense, and I love how it's a watery image there of like a really swamped, overflowing thing, because this 8 of Cups talks about overwhelm, and it is like a swamp image here as well, where someone is sort of in the water and it's risen up to their neck. We've got a frog there, sort of reminding me of the boiling frog analogy. That could be how you feel in this situation. You feel like the boiled frog in this thing, and if you don't know what the boiling frog analogy is, please look it up. It's very helpful for situations where it feels like things have been creeping up on you without you noticing. Your healing message in this situation is number 1, access clear thinking. So a sort of muddledness or lack of clarity of thought is partly what's causing you pain or holding you back in this situation. That's something which is unhealed and which could use some healing or some focus. It could even be just illogical thinking or like erratic thinking, where your thoughts swing from like one thing to another and at one point you think this is true, or you're 100% on board with this, and then the next point you think this is true, etc., or this is what you'd rather do. So just take that how it resonates with you, but there is something there about clarity of thought and sort of unraveling those thoughts that's important. But the chessboard with the maze in the background always makes me think of logic as well. Rhiannon, sorceress. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality, so you can manifest a better future for yourself. Obviously, we can't manifest things that are not in alignment with our highest good usually. If something's really not meant for us, we typically can't manifest it. But you can manifest a better future or a better outcome or a better life for yourself, is what Rhiannon is telling you. You do have quite strong manifesting powers. So this could be where access clear thinking comes in, because if your thinking is very muddled or erratic, or you're not sure what you want because one moment you think it's this and then the next moment you think it's that, that can either be a block to your manifestation, or it can mean that lots of confusing or unwanted things come your way because that's where your mind is focused. So be very careful about what you're thinking about and how you think and speak about your desires and your future. Thank you, God. So Archangel Michael says, ask Archangel Michael to help you with this situation. Archangel Michael, thank you for assisting me with, describe the situation. Please help me be filled with faith and peace at all times. So Archangel Michael would like to help you, as well as Rhiannon. You can ask for Archangel Michael's help to resolve this situation or to bring about an outcome for everyone's highest good. Because with that Eight of Cups message and, you know, the overwhelm and the muddled thinking and the disillusionment and the doubts and all of this, it really does just feel like this has gone on long enough in your mind. You're like, I don't want to be frustrated like this anymore. I don't want the tension anymore. I just want a decision to be made so that I can move on with my life, basically, and not waste any more of my time thinking about this or second guessing the situation or myself. So ask Archangel Michael for help with that. And then your advice card for yourself is Full Moon in Aquarius, be real. Okay, so be real in the sense of be truthful, but also be real in the sense of be realistic. So let's read your Kali Oracle card, Kali Yantra. See what she has to say. We're going to read the guidebook introduction. So Kali Yantra says, she is your inner power to evoke a positive shift in your circumstances. If anything required for success be lacking, the Divine Mother shall provide it, bridging the divide between you and the manifestation of your intentions. You are crossing a critical spiritual threshold. She is the true guardian and guide. Stay focused on what matters to your heart, and you shall remain faithfully connected to her positive presence within. Allow distractions to fall away and continue to commit to your soul journey. A more beautiful experience of your life path awaits you. Wow. I love how it just opened up immediately saying that you have this inner power to evoke a positive shift in your circumstances, given that we've literally gotten these two cards. I think that's incredible. I think it also fits well with this Death and the Maiden card and becoming braver about sort of reclaiming your power if it's been given away or taken away by this situation. I feel this is going to have a peaceful outcome. Like I don't really feel sort of toxicity or animosity as a result of this, because we do have that reconciliation card of sort of, you know, peacefully agreeing to disagree or peacefully accepting the situation. We'll move on to your charms and dice now. I do get the sense that one of the three is going to walk away. They're just going to be like throwing up their hands. I can't do this anymore. This is it. I'm out. I've waited too long, or I've wasted too much of my time, or it's too much for my nerves now to stay in this situation without there being a resolution. So someone is going to walk away. That might be you, or it might be another person, but just take what resonates from this situation and leave what doesn't. Okay, so here we've got Pisces energy showing up. We've also got absolutely the hairdryer, blowing hot and cold, uncertainty, not being sure of what you want. That makes so much sense given that it's landing on access clear thinking and also the manifestation card. We have the olive branch, harmony, reaching out to someone, reconciling your differences. Makes so much sense in your reading. We've also got the baby boy. So either there is a masculine child in this situation, or someone in this situation who has dominant masculine energy is acting immaturely. Okay, so when I say dominant masculine energy, that could be a man or it could be a woman who has predominant masculine energy. We all have masculine and feminine within us, and it's very, very rare for that to be like a perfect 50-50 split. So typically there will be a dominant one within us, and it doesn't necessarily relate to biological sex. You will have met many women who have dominant masculine energy and men who have dominant feminine energy. It's all to do with the way that they communicate with others, express themselves, take action, and the dynamics of the relationships that they get into, not just romantic but platonic as well. So there is a dominant masculine energy who is behaving immaturely in this situation, or there is a masculine child that's involved and that is like a consideration for someone in this connection. We've also got the person who is sort of bending over backwards to do stuff for other people. So that could be where the overwhelm is coming in as well. Maybe you feel as though you've made so many concessions or so many compromises, or you've done so much to facilitate this other person, and it's like they're just not meeting you halfway. You've given them time, you've been understanding, etc., and now it's time to be real. Listen to your intuition, your inner voice, your conscience perhaps as well. We've got the true love charm, the rose, and that's landing on birth, as is the healing charm of the starfish. So there is definitely love in your future. I kind of feel like you walk away from this situation and just breathe a sigh of relief. And it's like, I'm not saying that it's not going to be difficult or toxic in the future, but just that it doesn't end in like a nasty way. So there probably is going to be more frustration in the future, or more anger or upset or tenseness, but ultimately it feels like, look, I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm walking away, and, you know, that's what I'm doing. Or it's like everyone chooses to walk away from the situation. It's that kind of thing where it's like a mutual thing. Or even if it's instigated by one person, everyone sort of agrees with the outcome eventually. And then we've got the gorgeous little goldfish charm. This is a very rare charm and a very powerful charm to receive. So this means that it's a little bit hard to explain, but there's a Chinese saying that if a goldfish swims up a waterfall, it turns into a dragon. So it's like, if you do something that's really, really difficult and intense and almost impossible, you will become this magnificent, incredible being. And that's what's going to happen to you as a result of the choices that you make in this situation. Yes, it's a difficult experience. It's probably taught you a lot emotionally, mentally, karmically. Like, it's probably taught you a lot energetically, and as a person you've probably grown spiritually without even realizing in this situation. But as a result, by the end of it, you will be this magnificent person with just so much wisdom and so much knowledge and so much ability to move forward. So we'll get your dice as well for your final messages, group 2. Okay, so we're rolling the 7th set of dice. Those are the Harry Potter dice. These ones. And we're rolling all 9 of them for you. Wow. Okay, sorry, I just needed to have a good look at them. They're a bit hard to see from a distance because these are like the only ones that are outlined in gold rather than a darker colour. Okay, so we've got the doors there, double doors there, that signifies a new beginning, but it's also a closed door, so it can signify endings as well. But ultimately, when I see doors, I see like endings and beginnings. I see a chapter closing and a new one beginning. We've also got Harry with the sorting hat there, deciding, making a decision. And that's landing on be real. So it feels as though if you do feel like someone else is taking away your power, you reclaim it by making a choice. So that's why I felt like it was you that was likely going to walk away, or you that was going to instigate the dissolution of this whole situation. We've got transfiguration going on there as well. So like changing shape, changing form. And the Philosopher's Stone, which is also all about transmutation for the highest good, alchemy, development, healing, improvement. We've got Aragog. Now, Aragog is interesting because Aragog is like a scapegoat. He's not the true cause of the murders in the Chamber of Secrets, but he's kind of having the blame shunted on him. And that may be how you end up feeling, because I really feel like either you feel treated badly, but that's not being acknowledged, or you feel like you're feeling like a bad person, or like you're being blamed for things going wrong in this situation and you're not prepared to put up with it. Also, Aragog can be about hiding away, given that he was hidden at first in a chest and then in the forbidden forest. It can be that you feel as though you're sneaking around or hiding away or not being acknowledged publicly. So that could also be a concern for you if this is maybe an affair situation, or a situation where someone's not offering you commitment because they're kind of talking to two people, or they sort of have a crush on more than one person, don't want to take it to the next level. It's like, I want to be acknowledged publicly. I want this to be recognized publicly. I don't want to feel like I'm sort of sneaking around or someone's secret, you know. So that's a big thing there. We've got Forks, rebirth. Beautiful, beautiful dice with a phoenix there, which makes so much sense. I like how it's actually landing on death and the maiden, because it feels like right now, especially given that you've got the death card, that things feel quite stagnant, or they feel like empty. Empty is the word I want to use. Okay, we've got Lucius Malfoy as well. A villain. So Shurka coming through again, villain. Maybe someone who's a charismatic villain, but a villain nonetheless. Someone that you maybe shouldn't trust. Someone who maybe has a great veneer or can seem like a really respectable person to others, but ultimately has some pretty dodgy interests, or, you know, isn't to be trusted as a friend. We've got Harry there, the protagonist, the hero, the chosen one. That's always about centering yourself and reminding yourself that you are the main character of your story, so you should never be putting another person above yourself ultimately in the decisions that you make and the way that you live your life. You should always be the main character and your main focus. And then finally we have what I think is Diagon Alley, because there's another one that looks like Hogsmeade, but this one I think is Diagon Alley. Again, I'm sorry if you can't really see these very well because of the gold outline. But yeah, Diagon Alley is about finding everything you need. Going to a place that offers you everything, you know, like being able to pick up all of your school supplies in Hogwarts. And it feels like at the moment, this situation is not fulfilling you enough. It might be ticking some of your boxes or providing you with some of your needs, but you want to move forward. You want to come out of the shadows, or be publicly acknowledged, or be given respect maybe, or more time, or more attention, more affection, whatever it is. And it feels like that's not providing you with this. So ultimately, because you are a strong person from these cards, I can tell that, it's like you're going to just say, look, I can't cope with this anymore. I'm going to go and find someone who can give me everything I do need. And there might be a time where you feel like I don't need anyone, you know, a little bit bitter, or a little bit like I just need to do some self-preservation right now. But ultimately, I do feel that you go ahead and search for the full package, basically. Someone that can provide you with everything that you're looking for. So that's what I see in your reading today, Group 2. I hope it was helpful. Please let me know in the comments whether this resonated with you. You don't need to go into any detail about your situation if you're not comfortable doing so, but I would love to hear from you. And please do like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed this video, because that really helps out my channel and means that we can get these messages to as many people as possible. So please do take care of yourselves, Group 2. This can be a lot to take in, as any reading can be a bit of information overload, but especially when it's, as I said before, such a sensitive subject, it can be a lot to take in and it might leave you feeling a bit overwhelmed. So do go ahead and do something relaxing or indulgent for yourself now, and just take care of yourselves for the rest of the day. If you'd like to get more information about what I do on the channel, or if you'd like to get more involved with what I do, check out my description box and the comment that I post in the comments section. They're both full of links. You can follow me on Instagram there for daily oracle cards. You can head over to my Etsy page from there to book a private reading or a healing session with me, or get information about your guardian angel. I'd love it if you'd head over to Patreon and consider becoming a patron. Over there you get access to exclusive content like extra picker cards, giveaways and healing sessions and other things that I do in exchange for more regular support of the channel. I have 2 wish lists linked below as well for new tarot and oracle decks. I also have a PayPal link for tips and donations which help me to keep making these videos. They support me in the work that I do. So thank you so much to everyone who does give back or donate in any way, shape or form. Everything is very much gratefully accepted and very much appreciated. And if you'd like to get 10% off beautiful crystal jewellery, head over to Modern Day Manifestations, click the link below to validate the discount code, which you should then apply at checkout. The discount code is Violet, and that will get you 10% off your first order with free international shipping on anything that you choose as well that's offered site-wide. So thank you so much to everyone for being here. Have a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hey there, group 3, welcome to your reading if you chose the Inner Child cards and number 43, Gauri, Devi. This is going to be your reading. We will get your message from Kali Ma as the last card. We'll read from the guidebook, the little introduction, and that's just because it's going to be a very impactful card. It's an Alana Fairchild deck, so it will be very well written. And I want to get all of the messages out first and sort of not be biased by what the card has to say. So let's get your tarot cards out first. Group 3, what's the outcome of this third party situation going to be? I would also love it if you could subscribe as well, group 3, so that you never miss an upload. It also really helps out my channel as well. Sorry, God, you've been smacked in the face by a card a few times today. So we have got Guardian of Wands, which is the King of Wands in this deck, and it is Archangel Raphael. We've also got the Guide of Hearts, or the Queen of Cups, the Good Fairy from the Wizard of Oz. Then we have Guardian of Swords, the King of Swords, which is Archangel Michael. Wow. 4 of Crystals, or 4 of Pentacles. And the Guardian Angel, which is the Temperance card in this deck. Wow. So I think it's so interesting that we've got 3 people being shown up here, which is just incredible. We've got fire, water, and air signs showing up: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Now actually Sagittarius is showing up twice because Temperance is also a Sagittarius card, but this is super interesting. I just find it crazy how there's 3 people that are showing up there. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is this is a situation that could probably result in some cooperation. So with the 4 of Crystals, you can see the little gnome children all working together to build a house. And then the Guardian Angel also suggests cooperation because that's what Temperance is about. So this could be one that has a favourable outcome. I don't want to say based on the tarot cards. We are going to move on to your oracle cards, but that's just such an interesting opening to your reading. Let's get some Karten des Lebens, group 3. Okay, so here we've got number 52, Begabung, talent or gift. We've got number 45, Verlorene Kindheit, lost childhood. Number 92, Sieg, victory. And number 24, Machtkampf, power struggle. Okay, so power struggle makes sense in a third party situation where people are sort of vying for each other's attention or affection. I like victory. I just want to draw attention to this lost childhood card because that's obviously a very impactful card. It's a very heavy card in any reading, and that could be partly why this situation is formed or why someone acts or reacts in the way that they do in this situation. So someone having a very, very difficult childhood, having to grow up very quickly, or being abused or neglected. So that could have led to issues surrounding relationships now, or just with their own psyche. You know, they may not have matured very much emotionally, or they may not have had, for example, good examples of relationships growing up. They might not know what a healthy relationship looks like. They may feel like they always have to be independent and not open up about their feelings to each other. That could be you, or it could be another person in this situation, but with that card coming out, I really feel like I need to draw attention to it. So here we've got number 63, Rückzug, withdrawal or retreat. That makes sense with the Four of Pentacles as well, just as its general meaning in tarot. We've got the 5, communication, Kommunikation. Number 16, richtiger Zeitpunkt, right time. And then finally, sorry, I like them to be as neat as they can be. Number 77, benutzen, using or being used. Okay, so someone definitely feels taken advantage of in this situation. It's possible that everyone feels like that. It's like you all need to work together to figure out exactly how this is going to work out. I do feel that there is going to be a pulling away. Now, this could be you withdrawing from the situation to just settle your feelings and thoughts. It could be someone else pulling back and maybe not responding to messages or not meeting up with you again while they go through a rough time or while they need to settle their emotions. But then communication comes at the right time, at just the right time. So from the New Wonderland Oracle, we've got number 7, investigate. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. Now that makes sense with the withdrawal and then communication at the right time, you know, pulling back in order to decide what you want to do. And then we've got wake up, number 25, it's your moment. So literally pulling back to examine the situation, examine your thoughts or feelings, or someone else doing that, to decide what's going to happen before they act, and then realizing, right, this is my moment, it's now or never, I'm ready, I need to speak. And it just happens at exactly the right time for everyone involved. Mend a broken heart fairy, healing from heartache, number 36. So it's possible that this does sort of break your heart along the way. Like I'm not going to downplay the heaviness or the frustration or the mentally damaging or emotionally damaging elements of a third party situation. It really can drain you or cause or exacerbate mental health issues. It can leave you feeling on constant adrenaline, for example. It can really damage your self-esteem, your confidence, and just in general the constant uncertainty and anxiety is very mentally damaging. So I'm not downplaying that at all, and there may well be very difficult times ahead. And this could be why you choose to pull back, to heal from that, to mend that. Or it could be what you start doing when another person pulls back. You start to focus on yourself and healing and mending. Whoa. Okay, so then we've got number 18, Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. So there really is such a message here about pulling back and taking some new perspective and some time to think. This fits with actually the images on the cards as well, because Eyes of the Eagle is a bird, so that fits with air energy, and we've got Guardian of Swords, Archangel Michael. The good fairy is sort of hanging above the Emerald City in this picture, and the Guardian of Wands, or the King of Wands, Archangel Raphael, is looking down upon the earth. So all of these sort of fit with this rising above the situation message. We also have Whale Song resonating, number 61. Many Masks, the Authentic Self, number 38. Horned Cactus, number 29, Resourcefulness. And the Wailing Tree, Reconciliations, number 59. So it is literally, the cactus to me is often a symbol of not letting people in, being in survivor mode, not letting people get too close, resonating, being on the same wavelength as another person, the authentic self, figuring out what your true feelings are once you pull away from, you know, all of the voices and everyone else's needs and everyone else's emotions and expectations, and then coming back in reconciliation. So that's how I envisage this going, either you pulling away for a time or someone else pulling back, and then they come back with the answer that you need to hear, or you come back with the right communication. Green Tara, start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. Again, that fits if you've been neglecting your needs in this situation, or completely neglecting or downplaying your own emotions. Archangel Michael says, this situation is already resolved. I give any worries, cares and concerns to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. Thank you for resolving this situation in a divinely perfect way. And he also says, have confidence. Archangel Michael, please lend me your courage and fortitude. Help me realize that I am one with all that is divine, wisdom, strength, love, creativity, abundance and health. Allow me to feel confident and peaceful about myself in all ways. Love that message. It's interesting how he says this situation is already resolved. Like on a higher level, someone's already made up their mind, or on a higher level, this situation has already come to a conclusion. I forgot to get you a healing message. I'm sorry. Let me just get you a healing message in this situation. You have support, number 36. It's a no. Number 16. So you might tell someone no, or like I said, you might feel like you don't have support, but actually you have it in a spiritual sense. You might not have physical support around you, but you have support from a higher space. Okay, well that one really wanted to come out. That is last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. So Gemini coming out again for you there. So clear your mind. That makes so much sense given what we've been told about pulling back and thinking clearly before making a decision. So that's your advice in this situation. We're going to look at your Kali message now, and then we'll do your charms and dice. So let's just get the guidebook introduction for this card. Gauri Devi. Champion of the sweet souls, with fierce hearts who are underestimated and passed over. She who is gentle as the deer and ruthless as the lioness, who has the capacity within the awakened heart to rise, to overcome obstacles, to have faith without any evidence of victory, and to rally the spirit until the right moment to act and win is felt. She is nonconformity and the freedom to be one's true self. Recognize your own beauty and value, irrespective of whether another has the capacity to behold it at this time. You shall shine. That is such an incredible message because it fits so many different ways in this reading. We've had, you know, have courage, have confidence, etc. We've had someone potentially not seeing your beauty or not seeing your true value enough to come forward and just make their decision straight away. We have a message about the right moment to act, which is incredible, and feeling underestimated or passed over. I just think that's amazing. Sorry. I love how there are just so many crossovers with your reading. So that's what Kali Ma has to say. So we will now move on to your charms and dice. I really think there's a big deal being made out of this pulling back or pulling away for a time and then coming back at the right moment. Okay, charms. Okay, so we have got the hairdryer, blowing hot and cold, uncertainty. That makes sense in any third party situation. We've also got love hanging by a thread, where you feel as though this relationship is about to collapse or your feelings are about to collapse for this person. We've got infinity, something dragging on forever. We've also got friendly, which is the reverse of the Aquarius charm. We've got the leaf, releasing what's no longer needed, landing on the many masks card. We've also got the worry thread, symbolizing anxiety. The wintertime charm, the Christmas tree, is coming out on the Machtkampf, power struggle card. So possibly that's where the sort of competition element comes in, is wintertime, or just wintertime is important to this situation for you. We've got the wasp, which is a symbol of feeling stung, pain or hurt. The lone wolf, feeling lonely, wanting more support or acknowledgement. And then down here we've got a smiley face, so happy. That's landing on you have support. And we also have health, healthy relationships, taking care of your own health, landing on it's a no, so it's possible that you've been completely neglecting that. Maybe, as I said, not even being aware of what a healthy relationship really looks like because of your childhood, or maybe it's this person who's not aware because of their childhood. Just take any messages that come through as how they fit to your own situation, because as I said, there's lots of different dynamics when it comes to third party situations, and I'm not presuming which person you are or what the setup is exactly. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing from your charms. We'll move on to your dice. Okay, we're rolling the fourth set of dice, so the Looney Tunes dice. These ones. And we're rolling 3 of them for you. Okay, so we've got Roadrunner. Oh, and I've dropped it. So Roadrunner, someone who's always trying to evade a situation, who's trying to evade giving an answer, evading being nailed down, or someone who is moving very quickly and it's hard to keep up with them. That may be how you feel in this situation, like you're constantly chasing after Roadrunner, and it's hard to nail them down to an answer, or to get them to slow down with whatever it is that they're doing. Maybe you're the one who's evading the questions as well, or evading the requests for commitment, for example. We've got the overflow of emotions. Okay, so this fountain just shooting up out of the ground like a burst pipe. Just lots of emotions, overwhelm, really deep emotions as well, which could lead to sort of turmoil in a sense. And then finally we've got the hearth, which represents homeliness, coziness, and a feeling of security. So ultimately, group 3, I do think this is going to have a positive resolution. The way that I'm reading the cards, just to summarize, is that I feel as though obviously the cards are making a big thing out of someone pulling back and then coming back at the right moment with their decision or with some communication. It could be you, it could be another person. But ultimately, I feel like either there's a break in this situation and then you get back together at the right time and it works out better, or this person pulls back and then maybe comes back and tells you they'd like to give it a go with you, or to have proper commitment with you, and it just comes at the right time for you. Now, potentially this person comes back and offers you that and you've already moved on, or you kind of feel like, actually, the break has shown me what I really want, and I've started to mend and heal from this situation, and so I'm not willing to sort of get back into it again and give this person another chance. That's completely fine. There's nothing saying that you have to be with this person or anything. You always, of course, have free will in any situation. But I do feel like you're either going to be given the opportunity to be with this person, or it's just going to resolve very nicely in your favour. So that's what I see in the reading. It's a nice positive one to end on. I hope you've enjoyed this, and please let me know in the comments whether this resonated with you. You don't have to go into any detail about your situation if you don't feel comfortable doing so, but I would love to hear from you. Please do like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, because that really helps me to get these messages to as many people as possible, and it really helps out my channel as well. And do take care of yourselves, Group 3. As I said, this can be a very tumultuous, stressful situation, so do place your health and well-being first and foremost. If you'd like to get more involved with what I do here on the channel, check out my description box and my comment in the comments section below, because they're always full of links. So you can head over to Instagram from there and follow me on Instagram for daily oracle cards. You can head over to my Etsy shop from there to book a private reading or a healing session with me, or to get information about your guardian angel. I would love it if you would head over to Patreon and consider becoming a patron. Over there you get access to exclusive content like extra picker cards, giveaways, healing sessions and other things that I do in exchange for more regular support of the channel. I have 2 wish lists linked below for new tarot and oracle decks if you'd like to send a gift to the channel. I also have a PayPal link for tips and donations which support me in the work that I do, and they help me to keep making these videos, so any amount is very gratefully appreciated and received. And if you'd like to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewellery with free international shipping, head over to Modern Day Manifestations. The link is in the description box below. Use that link to validate the discount code, and then apply the discount code VIOLET at checkout to get 10% off your first order. Their jewellery is really beautiful and I thoroughly recommend it. And as I said before, have a wonderful rest of your day. Group 3, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.